Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Force for Growth Show. I'm Ricardo.
I'm Michelle.
And I'm Courtney. And this week we are doing our word of the week. I'm going to let Michelle tell us a little bit about it and what
So,
cool feature it is.
so the word of the week, we choose one every Monday morning on our 6 a.m. calls by pulling a Do 52 stick that's stamped with a verb. Do 52 is a simple but powerful toolkit designed by House of Shine to prompt us weekly to do things mindfully and open ourselves up to new ideas. And today's word of the week is post.
Post.
Yeah.
Post.
And thank you to Tamara for getting our group on that. We are a little over 6 months in or halfway through our 52-6 for the year. So I'm going to read you some definitions we have for post. So we're looking at the verb. So to affix to a usual place, such as a wall or like a post, a marker, to publish, announce, or advertise, to denounce by public notice. I think that needs to be in there. And then a third definition, to publish something such as a message online on a public forum, social media, etc. So post.
Man, this was a hard one this morning when it first came up. But once we started talking and the conversation started rolling, we got some good stuff. The one that stuck out from me this morning was posting a milestone. Like when the astronauts land on the moon, they post the flag to mark their milestone. So what milestone can you post this week?
Yeah. I really like that instead of looking at the entire journey and having to figure it all out, just how do we get to the next post? How do you get to that next post? And kind of think of it in bite-sized chunks.
Yeah, I'm trying to like the definition that I'm trying to remember what definition you said goes along with this, but I like posting up. So planting your feet. So if you are wanting to achieve some sort of goal, you plant your feet firmly in the sand, and then move toward that goal. But strength, to me, it signifies strength and resilience and
Yeah. The other one is, in military terms or at Buckingham Palace, the guards get assigned to a post that they guard and they're committed to guarding, to guard that post, to stand guard at the post. So what do you need to stand guard of?
Yeah, I really like that one this morning. And it makes me think of Jim Rohn and talking about strychnine in your coffee, if anyone knows that analogy.
Drop it, Courtney. Tell us the story.
So, credit Jim Rohn. We all love him, I think. Anyway, father of personal development. But if your best friend drops, just one little granule of strychnine in your coffee, what happens? You're going to die. But what if, I think he says your enemy spills sugar in your coffee? Well, nothing bad's going to happen, or salt, or, something. But even your closest confidant, your closest, even yourself. Let's take the analogy further. Even you can put some kind of poison in your coffee and not notice it. But over time, when you, consume even just a little bit, it can either, kill the project, the moment, you over time. So it's just a great analogy that you need to stand guard at the door of your mind. And so that's how he usually ends a quote, I think, is just stand guard at the door of your mind. Because whether they're your enemy or your best friend or yourself, each have the power to put strychnine in your coffee.
Real quick, let's go to the comments. Bobby Castillo says, stand firm. That's what resonated with her with the word of the week post. Stand firm.
Yeah.
Yes, that's pretty good. Comment below. Let us know what the word of the what the word of the week means to you. The word of the week again is post. P-O-S-T. Join the discussion.
Yes. You could also post a message. So a lot of the definitions involve whether you're posting something publicly to everybody on social media or posting a message, back in the day, you used to post a letter, so that's one message to somebody. So what message do you need to give somebody that maybe you have not, or what message do you need to just take another step farther to share?
Even in terms of, just exactly what you were about to say, holding yourself accountable. So to me, one of the things that I do, and I've done with the 75 Hard Challenge, is post publicly and declare what my goal is. This is what I'm doing. If I fail at it or don't complete it, then I have to publicly acknowledge that. And so it just gives me that added level of accountability. I do that a lot with my health program. I will post what I'm doing, because if I put it out there in front of people, I am much more likely to stick to it and not quit. Whereas we have a tendency to quit on ourselves before we'll quit on, or it's just that accountability. It really helps me.
It does. That's a big one. And that never occurred to me. Post office. Oh, yeah. You post a letter, a postage stamp.
Yep.
Webster reminded me. Yes. And I like, okay. So most people are electronic with their calendar, if you have a calendar, but it's like Tony Robbins says, if you schedule it, you make it real. And then once it's scheduled, you start to follow through and planning the steps to, actually bring it to life. But post something on your calendar. So that's another question to throw back out. What is something you're putting off you need to schedule so you can start making it real?
Yep. The one that came to me this morning was, we talk about posting to social media. And what is it when you post to social media? You post a thought, you post an idea, you post some content to social media. What are you posting to your mind? What content are you posting to your mind willingly?
Yeah. And that goes back to guard being posted or guarding the post. You have to guard your mind. You have to guard what you let in from anybody, including yourself.
That's a big one. That's come up a couple of times in this conversation. What is something that we've let our guard down? What's something that we did not post guard to the guarding our mind? Man, I'm chopping all this up. Okay. So basically, what kind of crap have we let in our mind that we weren't supposed to? I was trying to use the word post.
Fall on autopilot. So like if you fall on autopilot, your brain's job isn't to make you happy, but it can be trained to do that way. Whatever. It's like on autopilot, your brain will look for two things. Will it kill me, or does this fit into a pattern I've seen before? That's where we get a lot of the associations to our past, and your brain only has what evidence it's seen to relate it to. But that's where visualization also can play a positive role in that and train you to, okay, so visualize that and you feel the feelings, you feel the emotion, you fill up with, trying to think it back to the word post at this point and how this came up this morning in regards to this word, but, and let yourself feel the joy of your goal on the journey versus on autopilot. It won't make you happy. It'll just be like, oh, well, kill me. Oh, this reminds me of my ex. It just, no. So that's where having active practices, like we are obsessed with.
Yeah. So you can literally experience that experience before it really happens. And then like we talked about this morning, sometimes it's when you do that and you practice that in meditation or however you do that, like when I go on my morning walks, a lot of times I do that visualization like Tony goes through priming. You visualize what you want your day to look like or what you want your life to look like, or when you accomplish a goal or something, that you want to happen in your life. If you visualize that enough times to where you feel the feelings coming in, one, it trains your brain to seek out the opportunities to make that happen. And two, when it happens, which I've experienced it multiple times, so I believe it 100%. When it happens, it's almost like deja vu. It's like, it doesn't surprise you. You've already felt those feelings. You've already lived through that success or that meeting that goal, but you can live through that now. You don't have to wait. Because really what we're seeking is those feelings, right? It's not getting the new car. It's the feeling that you get when you get the new car. We can
Yeah.
feel that now. We can.
And I
Our,
want
our
to,
brain doesn't know the difference.
you're right. And to point out we often are masters at doing this. We just do it in the form of worry or panic about
yeah.
something coming up. So know that you already know the formula. You just need to look at what formula you're using and make sure it's positive momentum, not negative momentum, like worry. Worry will manifest bad stuff. It'll make that happen. And, rehearse in your brain that you're broke. Well, guess what's going to happen next month? You're probably going to be broke, So it works both ways. It's really simple. But yeah, that's.
So, what intentions can you post this week? Post those intentions. Post them in your journal. Post them on social media. Post them in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
You
And see
gotta
them as
post those
done.
intentions.
See them as done.
Oh,
Don't see them as this list of, I want to be authentic this week, but I'm going to have to do all this. So, your brain associates stress with that. See it as done. See it as, oh, I helped 3 people with this week. How magnificent, before it happened.
One of the things that I do Rachel Hollis's Start Today journal, and I'm on my 3rd one now. I've been doing it for a long time, and it's really, really cool because so many of the things that I was writing down, you pick 10 things that you want to make happen in your life, and you write those down every day. And so many of the things from my first journal have happened that I never would have dreamed. I mean, I did dream, obviously, but they're surprisingly, they've happened, and they maybe happened faster than I thought they would. But when I write those down, I write them down as if they already happened. It says 10 things I made happen. And I say, I did this. I did this. I did this. I am this. And so it trains your brain every single day through, 1, you're reading it, 2, you're writing it, and I speak it out loud when I write it down. So I'm hitting 3 of those senses so that my brain really is like, this is reality for her.
and just to recap, guys, the 3 senses are visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. What you see, what you hear, and what you feel. If you hit those 3 senses, boom, you are good
powerful.
to go.
Powerful.
Yes.
You got to hit all 3, though.
Yeah.
You usually favor 1, but it's a lot more powerful if you hit all 3.
One of the things too that I'm trying to think how post pulls into this, but just talking about how we feel, changing our state. Tony talks about it all the time. Change your state, and that's something that I did this weekend with 75 Hard. I have to do 2 workouts a day. I was tired. Yesterday, I was tired. I was not feeling it. I did not want to do that second 45-minute workout, but I recognized how I was allowing my body to feel. And it's amazing the power that we have when we use our minds, because you can change your state and you can go from tired to energized in an instant if you're feeding, your brain. So I just talked to myself. I'm like, you're tired. You went to UPW where you stood on your feet and jumped around for 4 days straight. Tony Robbins is 60 years old and does that all the time. And you're tired because you got up at 5 a.m. for 6 days in a row. Really? And when you start to do that, you realize, like you said this morning, Ricardo, what was it that you said? I don't remember who it was, but
David Goggins, Can't Hurt Me, says that when we feel that we're tapped out, that we're only at 40% capacity.
Yes. And it's so true.
You still got a lot more in the tank, even
when you were
think
talking
you don't.
about, yes, very good point. So, okay. So it made me think of, especially when like MySpace or Facebook first came out, it used to be your name and then is feeling, and you would pick a feeling to go along with your post.
Ooh.
But you remember there were only like 8 options or something. So just think about how infinite you are and how you can pick 8 different ways to get into peak state alone, let alone, but I remember it was like stressed, scared, like not all of them were good. Not the majority were good. But anyway, I just was thinking about how limiting that is on your brain to like, what are you doing in your life where you're actually doing that? Like you're picking from 8 autopilot emotions that you only switch back and forth between, daily, when we have so many infinite possibilities to feel joyful, so it just, we put ourselves in a box. But yeah, that's what I was thinking when you talked about that, Michelle. I was like, there used to be this like
Ooh,
emotional drop down.
that is so good, Courtney. You know what just came to me? Like, how many emojicons do we reuse over and over and over and over again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Same ones all
when
the
there's a
time.
big old variety, there's a big old spectrum of emoticons and faces and flags and hand gestures and people that you can use, but we probably only use what, 6,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Same thing with our emotions. We have a
Humans are
habit.
so
It's all,
predictable.
it's all habit. It's just that's what we go back to. It's what we go back to. Our brain is trained to do that. We
So
can
that
train our brain to do something different.
so that's one challenge that I'm going to put out there. This is going to be a fun one, the Emoticon challenge. Emoji challenge? Emoji challenge. It's
Yes.
the emoji challenge. If you use 6, 7, or 8 emojis all the time,
Post below.
yeah, comment below. And I challenge you to scroll through the Emojicon list and find something else. Find another face that can express what you're feeling instead of using the same old ones over and over again. Don't limit
Yes.
yourself. Don't box yourself in, like Courtney Carr said.
Yes. And they add them all the time. Like, have you ever gotten a text from somebody and it includes like one, you're like, oh my goodness. And then it turns out you have like the whole family in your phone. You
Oh,
never even like
here we
scrolled that
go.
far.
Post your favorite emojicon.
There we go.
Emoji. Why do I keep on calling emojicon? I sound
It's
so
like
old and antiquated.
1998.
Yeah, I sound so antiquated by calling it emojicon, right? Post your favorite emoji down below, and I wonder how many poops we'll get.
Right. That's one I
My
refuse. to
my
use.
favorite one is the bulge out guy, the guy who bulges his eyes out. But I will commit to posting a different guy.
I think
This-
I'm super cliche. I go back between like the heart and the kissy face and the like.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
too.
mine are.
Me
Why are
too.
you boxing yourself in? Don't box yourself in.
I was gonna say, Ricardo, you would not be surprised that probably the one I use the most is the heart because you say that I say I love everything.
You
Yeah.
do. But you know what? Instead of using the red heart, use the yellow one. I'm willing to bet that it'll feel a little bit weird if you just change it a little
Yeah.
bit. Even if it's the same symbol, if you change the color, that it'll feel a little awkward. Like, oh,
Yeah.
this one's pink and not red. Whoa, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Oh man. So post
We're so
results.
stuck in our ways.
We are. That's a really good example, a really good metaphor for being stuck in the ways.
Mm-hmm.
For being stuck in the ways.
But we feel like we're expressing ourselves, but we're literally limiting ourselves to just pictures of cartoon faces. How expressive is that? We're literally talking about expressing ourselves, and we're still
with yellow
ironic
cartoon
observation
faces.
of this conversation, but
With yellow cartoon faces. But you know what? It applies because that's what we post. We post this to our friends on social media. We post it on Messenger. We post it on text message. We post it everywhere. So, I mean, I would be very interested if someone does a study on this, that if you post the same pitiful little emoticons, how much correlation does that have to the actual feelings that you're feeling?
yeah.
If you're always posting the angry dude with the cuss words in his mouth, do you typically feel more angry throughout the day versus if you posted smiley people or people sticking their tongue out at you?
Or how about this? If you post one or send one in a text, take a second and feel those feelings. So when I do a heart, like feel the love. If I do a smiley face, feel the happiness. If you're sending it, take a minute to feel it. Train your brain.
Okay.
I just realized I don't post enough smiley faces. I really don't. I don't post enough smiley faces, and I don't send enough smiley faces or hearts to my friends via text message.
So I typed in checking if any studies had been done, and the very first one does say, title of the article is more frequent emojis used linked to more first dates and more fun activity on first dates. Study finds. So dating advice, I guess. Tone up or
Wow.
tone down your emojis accordingly. But yeah,
Tone
there's a lot
up.
out there about this.
Tone. That's something I did not foresee us saying today. Tone up or tone down your emojis accordingly. Use
And
more
it says how
happy
you use
emotions.
your emojis in your content strategy to improve your conversations and communications with people. Like, how do you? I'm sorry. I'm
But in
loving
turn, to turn that back, tone up or tone down your emotions
Yeah.
accordingly.
Wow.
And we
This-
can in an instant.
Yeah.
Thank
We
you for
just
bringing
gotta be
it back
aware, and
home.
we gotta.
This conversation
back
took an
in.
unexpected left turn.
Yeah.
but it's okay though.
We're responsible for our state. Yes.
Yes.
We are
on track.
responsible for our state, even if it's our emojis. And I'm in the 21st century now by not calling it emoji con.
Improvement today, right?
Improvement. That's all we
1%.
can do.
1%.
1%. That's all we can do. So getting into the 21st century with the terminology that I use is 1% improvement. So based on that, that's all the time we have for today, for today's topic. Oh,
This
let us
was fun.
know what results you'll be posting this week, what milestones you'll be celebrating, what milestones you'll be posting, metaphorically or on social media. What emoji cons, that's where the conversation really got interesting. What emojis do you use the most? And do those reflect the feelings that you feel the majority of the time?
Or do they hide? Ooh, do they hide the feelings you're feeling most of the time? Like, are you sad and you're picking the happy face? Like, just
Wow.
take inventory of that.
That's a whole nother
That was
conversation.
big.
I mean,
that was
Tune in for
down
part
that
two.
road.
like wow, like that just really yeah, that gave us a big old
Oh yeah.
gap
The
right there
the
where we're
gap.
like,
The
We'll
gap.
come back
Yeah.
to that.
like, I kind of gasped it a little bit. Like,
You
okay.
set it up so perfectly too.
I didn't mean to. I need to watch what I say. So thank you so much for tuning in. You can catch all the replays and episodes by visiting forceforgrowth.com. I am working on revamping the website, but you can go and subscribe to the audio version. Follow us on YouTube and make sure you like and share this video. If you enjoyed the content, if you enjoyed watching Michelle and Courtney and me talk about what we talk about, share what we share, and just have fun, like and share this video, please. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll be back on Wednesday for another episode. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
I did wear my